Good morning. This is Meg Moss, immigration attorney, with a message for my clients. A couple times a day, I get a call or a message from someone asking if they really have to go to their ICE appointment. They have an appointment coming up. They're really scared. They've heard people are getting detained at these appointments and they just don't want to go. I totally understand, but it is extremely important that you go to these appointments. I can't stress enough. You absolutely must go. If you're sick or there's some important reason why you truly can't go, like you're in the hospital or just truly sick, maybe. Okay. But in general, you really, really have to go. And even then, if you can't go, you absolutely must reschedule. I can't stress this enough. Now, is there reason to be worried to go to these appointments? Possibly. Some of the things that might make it like I wouldn't say unsafe, but a danger of being detained at one of these appointments would be if you haven't updated your address correctly with ICE and possibly USCIS and the court. Okay. All of these places need to be updated when your address changes. The law is within 5 days of moving, you have to provide your new address. And it's not a safe address. It's not your mailing address. It's where you are actually living, your physical address, and it needs to be full and complete. So, for example, if you're living in an apartment building, you have to also give the apartment number where you're actually staying. Now, some people say, oh, I've always used my friend's address or my brother's address, and I don't want them to get confused, so I'm just going to keep using that address since it's on everything. No, it has to be where you're physically living. Now, just because you change your address doesn't mean that your court date is going to be changed or you're not going to be sent to a different court. That's a totally different process. So don't worry about, maybe you have a judge you like and you're worried about getting moved to another court. That's not how that works. Updating your address does not change your court by itself, unless the court spontaneously decides to change it for you. Generally speaking, you would have to file a motion to change venue to actually change where your hearing is going to be. Now, how do you go about updating your address? Well, for ICE and for the court, this is an online form that you fill out. It's really easy. It doesn't take a long time. I think that, you just take care of that online yourself or ask your attorney to help you. I do this for my clients every day. If you need help, let me know, and happy to help you. But going back to it being where you're actually living, this is really important because now DHS, ICE, they are checking. They are cross-referencing with DMV, tax records, bank records. I mean, anything's fair game. They can figure out where you actually are living. So people in the ISAP program, they will do home visits, usually the next day after you're enrolled in the program, to see that you're actually physically living where you said you were. And it's not going to go well if they figure out that you're actually living somewhere else. So please, make sure that's accurate. Now, when you go to your appointments with ICE, I know everyone is concerned about being detained, and I'm not going to say that that's not possible, but the situations where my clients have been actually detained, it usually involve two things. One, they didn't have the correct address for that person, or they moved without permission, or it's a situation where they've been arrested and there's something going on where they feel they're a danger to society and they're taken into custody. So that would be some of the reasons why you might be detained. If you're worried and you want to just kind of cover all the bases, here's some just practical advice, okay? And I'm not saying you're going to be detained if you go to ICE. I'm just saying if you want to be on the safe side and take care of things in advance, here's some ideas, okay? Make sure your phone is fully charged. It can be possible to stay at ICE for the ICE check-in for a few minutes, and sometimes you're there for hours. So make sure your phone is fully charged. Leave your valuables at home. Jewelry, anything you might carry on your person that if you were to be detained might get lost, just leave it at home. Eat a full meal before you go. You could be there for a while. And if you get detained, it might be a while before you get another meal. So eat a good meal before you go. Dress warm if you're in a cold climate. Once you get into a detention situation, you want to be able to be warm and comfortable. You might be sitting on the floor or transported in a, cold van or something, so just make sure you've got appropriate clothing. If you take medications, bring them with you. You don't want to be stuck without your medications that you might really need. Okay. okay? Inhalers, diabetes medication, whatever, just bring it with you just in case, okay? I'm not saying that you're going to be detained if you go to ICE, just to be clear. But just to be practical and safe, these are things you might want to think about. I would also make sure you have my phone number if I'm your attorney, or if you have a different attorney, your attorney's phone number. And you would definitely want to make sure you've made arrangements for any children or family members that might need your care, and make sure they all know where you are, so that if for some reason they need to reach you and can't find you, they know that you went to your ICE check-in. And then I would also suggest sharing with them the ICE locator tool, which is you can just Google ICE locator, and with your A number and country of origin, they can figure out if you've been detained if you get into that system. So just preparing for the worst and hoping for the best. If you have questions, as always, please give me a call, and I'll be happy to answer your questions. Have a great day.